Welcome, my friends of the interwebs, or political friends of the interwebs. I don't know which channel I'm going to post this on yet, but I think it will be my Colonel Richard Hunter channel because, well, this is about being a Kentucky colonel. Yeah, most of you know that I am a Kentucky colonel. This is my commission if you have never seen it. Although I do have a ton of videos about this. Well, I don't know actually that I have a ton of videos, but I have more than a few videos showing this commission and talking a little bit about being a Kentucky colonel. Some of you know that I even nominated a few of my fellow YouTube brethren to be colonels. And the fine governor of Kentucky, Stephen L. Beshear, seen it my way and commissioned them colonels. Now, for those of you who do not know what a Kentucky colonel is, let me just say, it means different things to different people. But, in fact, it is the highest award issued in the state of Kentucky, or by the state of Kentucky. It's kind of like, I guess, the state of Kentucky's equivalent of the Presidential Medal of Freedom or Congressional Medal of Freedom. It's a civilian honor. It is not a military honor at all. Although the Kentucky Colonel, the rank of Kentucky Colonel or the Commission of Kentucky Colonel, got its origins in the military. If you go to kycolonels.org, there's a whole history on it there. You can read up on it if you want. For me, though, it's quite the honor because my roots come from Kentucky. And, yeah, I think the first time I ever heard about Kentucky colonels was from my father, and I was probably about 6 or 7 years old. And my father was not a Kentucky colonel. Actually, I'm the first Kentucky colonel in my family. But I can remember my father telling me about what it meant to be a Kentucky colonel and telling me about Harlan Sanders. Harlan Sanders was a family friend. Harlan got his start in Corbin, Kentucky, which is about 25 minutes away from my house in Bell County. And my family knew Harlan. And, of course, most people around there knew Harlan. But Harlan Sanders was a great man. I mean, he really was. Most of you know him as Colonel Sanders. But he was commissioned a Kentucky colonel many, many moons ago for his contribution to the world, really. The man invented franchising. That's why I get somewhat frustrated when people start joking about him being a Kentucky colonel. The fact of the matter is that he was a great man. Other notable Kentucky colonels, Winston Churchill, Ronald Reagan, and unfortunately Ashley Judd. So it's a mixed bag, to be honest with you. And Richard Hunter, Kentucky colonel. People have asked me why I was nominated to be a Kentucky colonel and by whom. And those are things that I wish I could tell you about. But I'll be honest with you. If you go to my Mad Bad Voodoo channel and you watch my real life video, start with real life number 1 and follow them through, you'll get a fair idea. But I will tell you that, well, the reason I can't really tell you as in the who nominated me or what exactly did I do to become a Kentucky colonel is because I sold the story. I sold the rights to that story. And it's really no longer my story to tell. That's kind of the trade. Some things in life are a trade-off. And I had an opportunity to sell the story, and I did. It's as simple as that. So, when I first started telling the real life story, I never in a million years thought that it would lead to a book deal. I never in a million years thought that it would lead to a television deal. That, to be honest with you, was just completely... I couldn't even... If you would have told me those things would happen by me sitting down at my preacher bench and just telling a story about my life and the things that were going on, I would have thought you were crazy. If you would have told me at that time that I'd end up becoming a Kentucky colonel, holy shit, are you kidding me? My grandfather was, he was many things in life. He was a teacher, he was a coal miner, he was a coal operator, he owned a coal mine at one point, and he was a state representative from the state of Kentucky. But one thing he was not was a Kentucky colonel. You know, it was a very big deal for me. When I found out that I was going to be nominated, I will tell you, I was nominated to be a Kentucky colonel for my services rendered to the state of Kentucky and to the federal government. And I did so under, well, just watch the real life videos. That's all I can tell you. Oh, and then for those of you who haven't seen the pilot for the TV show, you're going to have to do it pretty soon because I got to yank it down. Technically, I'm not supposed to be even talking about this stuff, and I damn sure I'm not supposed to have the link up to that pilot TV show, or TV show pilot. So if you want to see it, you best go to my Colonel Richard Hunter channel and watch it before it gets taken down. And it will be taken down probably either tonight or tomorrow. So anyway, yeah, it was a very big deal when I found out that I was nominated to be a Kentucky colonel, especially knowing what I did to get this, to be nominated. I mean, I really, well, hell, there's bullet holes in my house, for God's sake. I don't know how many times I had my life threatened, and, well, I can't, I guess I better just shut up, because like I said, I did sell the story, and I don't want, I have contracts signed, and to be honest with you, I'm not supposed to be running my suck, so I will just shut up about that. But I will tell you that when I found out that I was going to be nominated when I found out I was going to be nominated to be a Kentucky colonel, I was really humbled. I can't, because of my roots being in Kentucky. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up with you. There are people that are Kentucky colonels that didn't do anything like what I did. They didn't do a tenth of what I did. And I'm not judging anybody personally, but I remember a buddy of mine telling me, when he was in Iraq, he fought in Iraq, and he was honored with the Bronze Star. And I remember initially wasn't all that thrilled about it, and the reason he said he wasn't all that thrilled about it was because there had been a lot of people that were nominated and received the Bronze Star that he didn't feel really earned it. And I think that's like the Kentucky colonel thing. I mean, in life you're going to find people that became a Kentucky colonel because they knew somebody, or they got lucky in one sense or another. It is what it is. There's a whole process to becoming a Kentucky colonel. First, you have to be nominated by a Kentucky colonel. Okay, now that Kentucky colonel doesn't necessarily have to be a member of the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, but that Kentucky colonel has to think that you are worthy. And then that Kentucky colonel writes up a nice little recommendation for the governor, and then that goes to the governor's office, and then you keep your fingers crossed. And if you're lucky, the governor will approve your commission, and you will receive what you see here, a commission as a Kentucky colonel. That's pretty much what it looks like. By the governor of Kentucky, got the state seal. Not only the governor, but the Secretary of State has to sign off on it too, because the Secretary of State in Kentucky actually holds the Great Seal of the Commonwealth, and nothing can become official in the state of Kentucky without the Great Seal, and without the Secretary of State, you don't get the Great Seal. So the first signature down here is the governor of Kentucky, and the second signature is that of the Secretary of State. But anyway, I'll read it to you real quickly. I'm not good at this kind of English, but it says, Commonwealth of Kentucky, Stephen L. Bashir, Governor, to all to whom these presents shall come, greeting, know ye that Honorable Richard L. Hunter is commissioned a Kentucky colonel. I hereby confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto are appertaining. In testimony whereof I have caused these letters to be made patent, and the seal of the Commonwealth to be hetero affixed, done at Frankfurt the 15th day of January in the year of our Lord 2011, and in the 219th year of the Commonwealth. It's kind of interesting whenever I hear people talk about separation of church and state. Things like this kind of make me chuckle that these people really think. I mean, the Commonwealth of Kentucky has been around for over 220 years, and you know what? This is an official document, and it is the year of our Lord. So it is what it is. But anyway, By the way, and a lot of people get confused about the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, but the Honorable Order is a group of Kentucky Colonels. Now, you don't have to join. It is a club, for all intents and purposes, an exclusive club in the sense that you have to be a commissioned colonel to join, but it is not necessary to join to be a Kentucky Colonel. So basically, once the governor commissions you, you're commissioned, you're a colonel. But I chose to be involved with the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonel, which if you go to kycolonels.org, you'll see that, because they do some awesome charitable work. And it really makes me feel good. They do a lot of charitable work for the benefit of Kentucky. And I like to be part of that. In fact, I want to show you. This is some people might think this is cheesy, but it's called the Medal of Distinction. Now, you don't get this for any other reason than giving till it hurts. Giving till it hurts. And every year they change the design. And it says on here, the title Kentucky Colonel is synonymous with strength of character, leadership, and dedication to the welfare of others. Individuals who hold the title earned it by their practice of these special traits. The Medal of Distinction is awarded to Kentucky Colonels who continue to exhibit an innate responsibility to assist those who are most in need and to preserve and protect the historical and natural marvels of our surroundings. Working together through the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, these colonels provide relief and assistance to untold thousands. Congratulations and thank you, Colonel. Yeah, it's all about giving money, but the charities. Listen, and the thing I love about the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, their Good Works program, they've got a phenomenal rate of I can't even think of what it's called, but basically their expenses, okay, is 8%. So for every dollar that they raise through people like me and other endeavors, 8% of it's all they use for their operations. That's unheard of. 92% of the money that they take in go to the needy. And now they do all kinds of things, from buying wheelchairs for disabled children and people in general to you name it. If you're in Kentucky and you've got a charitable cause, all you got to do is write to them and fill out an application, and it goes through a vetting process. But they really do help, and they help a lot of people. And so I'm very proud to be part of the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. It is a really great organization. But I think that sometimes people get confused and think that, it's a private club and they nominate one another and all this crazy stuff. And those people really don't know what they're talking about. And it's really kind of sad. Now, I have had Kentuckians who are pissed that I am a Kentucky Colonel. If you watch my real life videos, you'll know that, I wasn't trying to make friends when I made those videos. I mean, you don't take on drug dealers and crooked cops, in order to make friends. And unfortunately, I was going against stream, against the current down in Kentucky with a lot of the mentality people had as far as check drawing goes, and marijuana growing and all that stuff. And I think that I knew I was going to piss some people off, and there was some Kentuckians that just were pissed that I was a commissioned a colonel. They were pissed about that. They looked at me as some kind of a Yankee bastard that came down there and got the highest award in their state for fighting, people that they cared about, which were the, local drug dealers and the crooked police, The truth of the matter is, and I don't think people really understand my connection to Kentucky, because my blood's from there. My father was born and raised in Mockingbird Holler in 4 Mile, Kentucky, in Bell County. My grandfather worked the mines in 4 Mile, Kentucky. I spent every summer of my life down there, barefoot, running through the hills with my brother, because my father wanted me to be able to connect to Southeast Kentucky. And so, yeah, it is very special to me, and I don't think people really realize. They think of me as some kind of a Yankee carpetbagger, but the truth of the matter is that my family's been in those hills forever. The only reason my father left at 62 was because there were no jobs, and he had to go north to get a job. There were no check drawn back then. Anyway, I'm almost at 50 minutes. Let me know in the comment section if you want to hear more about this stuff. If you do, I'll do something. See ya.